Hello and welcome to Basketball and Beers, episode 2. I can't believe that we've made it this far.
We're famous almost.
Almost. Spotify was telling me time after time we got a few alerts.
Big time.
Big time, baby. So as always, we are going to start by our beers of the day. That is my co-host Steve Wallace right there, and then I'm having a nice Yingling.
Silver bullet, baby. You know it's fresh. We got them Blue Mountains.
Even though he stumbled, that is number one for him. But
stubbled or
stumbled. Oh man,
you messed up. You messed up saying it. Cheers.
So, our first kind of thing we wanted to start with was our the wonderful feedback that we got.
All of our family and friends. Really appreciate you guys.
Yeah. It actually was really cool to kind of go back and see that the view or the listens went up and up and up throughout time. I didn't think we'd get more than about 5.
Yeah, I was hoping for double digits.
Yeah. We went a little bit above and beyond that, and we had some good comments. Steve, was there any feedback that you received?
Mostly. You sounded like an old fart was one that I got. Another one was you should name it Basketball, Beers, and Babbling, because you just talked about everything but beers and basketball.
Kind of, yeah. It was a really bad precedent.
Yeah. But we also had good feedback too. Like, why were you both on a camera sitting across from each other, which is why we're not today. And we got the beautiful painting, and we chose this side. So some things like that. You want to talk about our friend?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we got a nice group message earlier in the week after one of our good friends listened to the podcast, complimenting a few things, but mostly telling us.
Really.
Yeah, it didn't really feel positive, and he really preaches that a lot in his coaching. But he just let us know that it felt very unprepared.
Unprepared. He called it him hauling around. He actually spelled that out.
I've never seen it spelled out.
Yeah.
No. But yeah, thank you, Ryan Hintz.
We are more. I have notes this time just because of you.
Same. We kind of gave some ideas ahead of time instead of off the cuff. Dumb ideas by us to think that might be a little bit more entertaining, but who knows?
We'll see.
We'll see. So one of the things that we also got in our feedback was some ideas of why are you guys doing the podcast, and going into a little bit more about us and our backgrounds. So, Steve, do you want to talk about that real quick?
Yeah, but I gotta interrupt before we go to that, because we
trying to keep us on track.
We listed our 5 fast food places, and I got a lot of feedback about that.
Yeah.
Okay, and one of them was that I absolutely destroyed it.
Yeah,
and the main reason. And I got you a gift on the way here. I stopped. The main reason is this guy chose Burger King and his freaking top 5. Go ahead, put it on.
I will. I'm not going to take off the other one, but I will put this on for a time.
Go ahead. Let's make sure the
Burger we don't need to. Get the logo out there. Sorry. Thank you.
That was embarrassing. That's for losing. That's just your punishment.
I have
fantasy.
I have no issues with this at all. I know I get a lot of BK hate. I got that in my comments and my text as well. It doesn't stop me. The Whopper is great.
Nobody wants to hear about it.
Oh, it's phenomenal. The zesty sauce.
I didn't even buy anything. I walked in there. I walked in the Burger King, grabbed one of those off the table. I refused to eat there.
So, Ryan, when you want to give us more feedback next week, this was off the cuff. This was, I guess he was prepared for it, but
no, you're gonna leave that on.
Okay, it's gone. Now, do you want to get into your background a little bit, Steve?
Oh yeah. So now I've been somewhere for a while. Everybody used to give me a hard time. I'm not going to get into why I went to different places, but I started playing at Mid-American Nazarene in Olathe, Kansas. Stopped playing there and went to KU. Volunteered to help out at Free State boys basketball in Lawrence. And from there, I hopped on with KU women's basketball and kind of worked my way up to through KU women's basketball and ended up as a grad assistant for a couple years. And then I stayed in the women's basketball side. I went out to Rhode Island. I was director of basketball operations. Also, during that GA time, I was an intern for 2 summers with Utah Jazz, which was one of my favorite basketball experiences ever. And maybe we can talk about that another day more in depth. I went out to Rhode Island. Then I went to Tennessee Tech as an assistant. Then I came back home, got my first head coaching job at Piper High School, which is actually where I'm at now. But I was there for 3 years. Loved it there, made a lot of lifelong friends there. And then from there, I got an opportunity to go be an assistant at the University of Kansas for the women's basketball team. Couldn't pass that opportunity. I mean, your office is on Naismith Drive. You get to coach in Allen Fieldhouse. Like, it was a really awesome experience, obviously. Very happy I got that opportunity. And from there, I went to Shawnee Heights, which I didn't know a lot about. I knew Gary Woodland went there, PGA golfer. I played against him growing up. That was all I knew about Shawnee Heights. So happy I went there, made so many friends. So many of those guys we coached we're still in touch with. Shout out Jerome for riding a horse. Recently, one of our former players decided to take pictures on a horse with a fanny pack, and never would have guessed that guy did that. So, and anyway, from Shawnee Heights, went to Gardner Edgerton, which was in the Sunflower League, which is where I grew up playing. I was happy I got a chance to coach in that league. And then I had the opportunity to go back to Piper, which is one of my favorite places in the world, and I've been there for some time now. Also got to coach semi-pro with the Tornadoes here in Kansas City. Coach AAU with what was Pump and Run back in the day, Run GMC now. So I've kind of done all the different things, and that's kind of my resume in 2 minutes.
All right. Thank you, Steve. So our goal is to have this podcast at about 15 minutes or less, so you can consume it on your drive. Since Steve took up about a third of that on his background, I'll go quick with mine.
I've been a few places.
We know, we've heard. I was, as some of you know, I became a basketball manager for KU. Did that for just a year, and then I had to go a different path for a little bit. But once I started coaching back at Perry Lecompton High School, I was a freshman girls coach there for 1 year. Worked for a certain individual, then went along to follow Steve at Piper for 2 years. After that, wanted to get into more in-game situations and went to Blue Valley North, worked under Ryan Pfeiffer for a year as a freshman coach, learned a lot there. Went back and followed Steve over to Shawnee Heights for 3 years, kept up with a lot of good relationships and players then and now. Shout out Jerome. And then after Shawnee Heights, I was able to attempt to be a head coach. And so I did that for 4 years at Blue Valley Northwest. I was the girls coach there. I learned a lot. I gained a lot of good experience and learned some valuable lessons for myself. And I think grew as a coach there, and then wanted to try the boys side. And I did that for a year, went to Shawnee Mission West. And even though I just did it for 1 year, I stepped down. Son was being born. We were getting some changes to our jobs and lives and everything like that. So a lot of changes were happening. So stepped down. And I can honestly say it was a great decision to stay at Shawnee Mission West and not stop teaching or anything like that. Really enjoyed being there. So it was kind of a good wake-up call for me. And then took a year off and went and coached for 2 years at Blue Valley West under previously said Ryan Hintz. So got a lot of good experience these last 2 years. And then that was my end right there. So mine is a little shorter. Rome, I tried to save you.
I felt like you were talking a long time, but hey,
rambled a little
this
bit.
is our guy Jerome. He's in love right here. But here's why I'm giving Jerome a hard time. But here's what I love. So when we first got the job at Shawnee Heights, I was told, you might not want Jerome on your team. There's some things outside of school he might be involved with. Blah 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 blah. Met Jerome. We don't win a state championship without Jerome. Great dude. He's doing great in life now. Obviously, as you can see, he's taking vacations and riding horses. So. Just love seeing these. One of my favorite things is seeing these guys later in life to see what they're doing and how their lives are going. And I've been very thankful to bump into guys like I bumped into Vincent Esquina, who was the worst practice player of my career, the laziest kid ever. But if you watch him in a game, he'd be diving in the stands, saving the ball, running back in, catching it, shooting a layup after he dove on the floor. Like, everybody thought he was the hardest working dude ever. And in the games, he was.
Yeah. Drenched in sweat every game.
Saw him a few months ago, and he was like, "Hey, coach, I had a kid." He pulls up his baby, picture of his baby. Went to a former player's wedding recently. Was helping another former player with some head coaching job situations. Just that part, as I've gotten older, I really enjoy. And there I go, being an old fart again. I'm gonna have to hear from one of my friends. But anyway, that's one of the parts I really enjoy about coaching now as I've gotten older. Is now these guys are grown men having their own families and get to touch base with them and stay in touch with them and all that. And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that's the part that I love the most, and honestly have missed the most. Not being in it right now is just the relationships and getting to know those guys, and then seeing them grow, seeing them staying in touch as much as you can, commenting on things on Facebook. It feels like they're old friends, so it's good to stay in touch and just see the growth of some of these guys that we had an impact on.
Yeah.
All right, now next segment. Last week was a little bit of more of a just a story, but we'll see what we're bringing this week. When I texted him earlier, he said he has some things to say. We're at the 11-minute mark, so we're going to see how well he does.
I'll try to be fast
in the rambling sense, but we got Steve's wild card here. So, Steve, what we got?
First thing, as I drove home last week from this,
really
some signs were lit up. I could not believe. It's not just Lawrence, it's Kansas City as well. How many smoke shops there are?
Oh,
I mean, it is unreal.
Yeah,
it's McDonald's, banks, and smoke shops. I mean, there's more of those than liquor stores, and they all have
bright,
worst signs in the world.
So bright.
But how do all these places? I know people do their thing, but how do they all stay open? It's unreal.
I really don't know. It's one of those things whenever there's a new store coming into, and this is probably more true for Lawrence, but a lot of different places, but you get excited for a second, just like, oh, what's something new? This could be cool. And then it's
smoke shop.
Damn smoke shops. Like,
yeah. I don't know how many of those you can have.
Well, for a while it was Lawrence goes through these trends. It's like we had taco joints pop up out of nowhere. Yeah. All the chicken joints popped up.
Yeah. That's true. I never really
thought about it. Like literally,
smoke shops. A lot of smoke shops are. Yeah. I mean,
somebody out
there's not making money. Oh, lots of coffee. Holy moly! Next thing, because I got to be quick.
Yep.
This is kind of a boring topic if you're from Kansas. The cell phones. I have to say this. If we could have instead of the state making everybody put it somewhere, and literally some
can be in the school.
Yeah. Literally, the districts paid over $100,000. KCK, Olathe, I don't know. Shawnee Mission probably did too.
Nope.
Spend all this money to lock these cases up, and to me, I'm fine with the no cell phone. I'm not going to debate cell phones or no cell phones, but if we could have just told them they had to have it in their bags instead of we waste time at the beginning of school putting them in, and then at the end of school putting them or giving them back, and it's just that part I can't stand.
It's going to be a pain for a couple weeks, but once September hits, everyone's going to get used to it. It's going to be fine. I know it sucks. I know, but now.
They're talking about we don't have this money, and then they're asking districts to basically spend money to make sure this gets done. Yep. I just completely disagree. Just put it in your bag. Just have them put it in their bag, and if they get it out, there's a consequence.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yeah.
And I agree. Once we'll all get used to it, like we do everything else, but it's still a waste of money and time.
Yeah,
it's classroom time that kids aren't getting now, and if they're missing out of my class, missing some quality time.
Yep, that middle school PE life.
They learn more in our class than many classes, just through our trivia. Just so you know, maybe I'll give you some trivia later.
Can't wait.
And then this one probably rubs people the wrong way, but that's okay. Went to the Chiefs game yesterday. You know, this Eagles guy over here.
Go Birds.
It gets under my skin. The praying in the end zone is over the top. There is so many guys doing it, and I don't think they're praying like that at night when they go home. And I don't know that they're always praying every day. So that is over the top. And I don't think they would do that. And if there's no way, if there was 10 people in the stands, all 100 of them are going over there to do that. So I'm just going to leave it at that and probably get some hate mail, but it was driving me crazy yesterday. The show that they were putting on in the end zone before the game.
The things said on this podcast by Steve Wallace are those ideas and thoughts and opinions of Steve Wallace and only Steve Wallace. Please, when you provide feedback, direct it at Steve Wallace.
I'm not against religion. I don't know that all 100% of them are living that life.
Moving on. Okay, for our last 5-ish minutes, probably we'll run a little long today, but our last segment is our Fab Five. Kind of wanted to tie it back to high school basketball, as again we're trying to direct our ideas about that. So kind of sat on this one and thought about what were some of the best high school players that we have ever coached against and or just watched during our coaching career.
So I decided to do only that I played against, because if I did that, just the ones I watched.
Coached against, you mean?
Yeah. Just that I could, because it would have been. I just wanted to go guys I've actually had to compete against as a coach. Yep. So
I had one in mind. I'll explain in a minute, but that's the only reason I changed it.
Were you starting number 5 and going to 1 again?
Yeah, I think we go that way. Right. I think we got to go rock, paper, scissors. Oh. You got it. Okay.
All right. Number 5, and this was actually really hard. I have an honorable mention list that I am going to mention.
Yep.
But he's fresh in my mind because we could not stop him from scoring. And he took what I hope no Seaman people listen to this because they'll probably hate it, but I think he took an average high school basketball team and made them a great high school basketball team because he could score at any time. He passed the ball well, and that's KB on Bond, or KB from Seaman. I mean, he just would light us up. He was so hard to guard. We put different guys on him. By his senior year, he was 6'4". He'd filled out. You could tell he spent a lot of time in the weight room and spent a lot of time in the gym. So again, I could go all sorts of guys, but he's fresh in my mind of just killing us over the last few years. So
never got a chance to coach against him or watch him too much. I know one of our good friends, Mark Kern, he's a big fan. He played on PAC. So and I believe his dad coached for PAC for at least for a little bit. So big fan. He has been a big fan of his for a long time. One of mine is one that goes back to our coaching days together at Shawnee Heights.
Is this in order?
Good point. Okay. If we're going in order, my apologies. I'm going to have a 3-way tie then. So it is
a 3-way tie.
Yeah, it's on the girls' side. There were 3 girls, Samaya Nichols, Jalea Davis, and Jaden Wooten. They were incredibly hard to scout and game plan for, and anything you threw at them, they were able to get through it. And they're all playing high-level Division I college basketball. So really, really great talent on the girls' side.
Yeah, ballers.
Yeah.
My number 4, and the reason he's number 4 is because I played him as a freshman. And I remember telling our guys, you just played a guy that's going to go high-level D1. I didn't realize it was going to be KU, but that's Grady Dick. He was still great as a freshman. We beat him, but he was the only one on the team basically. But I had to put Grady Dick in there. I mean, he's an NBA player, and you could see it as a freshman how good he was.
Yeah. One I have to throw on there. I was able to play against him as a sophomore when I was at Shawnee Mission West, and then coached against him as a sophomore, and then coached against him again as a senior when I was at Blue Valley West, and that's Keaton Wagler. I mean, that kid was very smooth. He could take over a game, and
that's your number 4?
That's my number 4. I'll explain the other ones here in a minute.
He's a lottery pick.
He was legit. But the reason he's my number 4, this is no slight at his skill, was he was so smooth it didn't always feel like he was killing you. But he dropped 30 at the end of the game. And he played with some great talent, and he found that great talent around him. So he was one that I was obviously highly impressed with. But he was my number 4 just because when we played him, it didn't feel like he had to do much.
I can't wait to see your top 3 with a lottery pick at 4.
Yeah. It's just my opinion on it.
All right.
All right.
Now I had he was the one.
You also had a lottery pick at 4.
Yeah, but I played him as a freshman. You played him as a senior.
Yeah.
All right. So, but I had him as my number one honorable mention I wanted to talk about, and here's why: is because we played him when he was a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't play varsity, so he didn't play. I don't think he played 1 second of varsity when we played him. So I think that's a great lesson that coaches can use. Is that here you got a guy that was under recruited out of high school, goes, and now he's a lottery pick, and who knows what's going to happen next for him. He probably played some varsity, but if he did, it was very little to none. And I think that's just a great lesson that coaches in Kansas City can all use him as a model of, just because you're a freshman not playing varsity doesn't mean you can't go on to do big things.
Oh, yeah.
And I think so many kids and parents, especially you parents, get so caught up in certain things that don't matter, because he killed us in JV. I remember watching him on JV, and we were all talking about how good he was going to be, not knowing he was going to be a lottery pick someday. Yeah. The dude shot over 50% from 3-point range in high school.
Yeah.
That's unheard of.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a dude that was getting in the gym.
Yeah. He was incredibly skilled. And I think they started to see it when he blew up Illinois. It was like everybody in Kansas City was like, yeah, I mean, this kid has been working his butt off. So you knew something was going to happen.
I don't even think Coach Birch knew he was going to be a lottery pick after his freshman year, though. I mean, it's been a great ride for him.
Yeah, he's grown a lot. He's done a lot, and I mean, like I said, when we played against him, he was phenomenal. But he knew he didn't have to do as much. Okay, you're number 3.
This is my number 3.
You're number 3.
All right, I had to go with our state tournament run. I had to think of somebody, and we could not score against this team. And our guys were scared to do it until the very last shot of the game. But that's Matt Pyle at Eisenhower. He had 10 blocks.
Yeah, triple-double.
Triple-double in our game. Now, Jerome, who we talked about earlier, did a great job defending him and really frustrated him on the offensive side. But on the defensive side, we couldn't get a shot off inside the paint. And that really sticks out to me on that run because we had to play 3 D1 guys. First game was – I had it down here. Angelo
Algieri.
He went to play D1.
Aquinas kid.
We had to play Tyon Grant Foster from Schlegel, who went to D1, but Pyle stood out of those guys. We also had to play Zach Harvey that year.
Sean Hanukkah, who was a phenomenal tight end, but could have played college basketball.
Yeah, we played a lot of good talent that year. But I went with him because I felt like he dominated the game in a whole different way than some of these other guys on this list. Like KB, I said we couldn't stop him from scoring. Well, Pyle, we couldn't score on them. Yeah. So that's why.
My number 3, again, if we stick to kind of the idea of either you coach against or watched while you were coaching, Christian Brown was one that came to mind. I got to see him quite a bit his senior year at Blue Valley Northwest, and that is essentially where he took that next step and that next level. What I feel like we saw out of Wagler through like the end of his senior year into his freshman year, you saw that the entire summer going into that for Christian. He was incredible to just watch and see. You saw him blow up, get highly recruited after this Peach Jam and summer ball that he had, and then he just took over every high school basketball game that he played against. I think he averaged somewhere close to 30 points a game.
Yeah.
That starting lineup was unbelievable. Michael Peak, Markel Hood, Matt Chapman, Jack Chapman. They had essentially 4 Division I guys on that team.
Yeah.
That was really, really fun, but Christian just was unreal. So you're number 2, Steve.
My number 2, now I love this because he's a Piper guy, but I played against him when I was at one of my other schools, is Tamar Bates, who now is on a 2-way with the Utah Jazz. And the reason I loved him, I was watching him warm up, just go through warm-ups and in-game. It had nothing to do with his play necessarily. He dominated. Obviously, he's in the NBA, so like his skill set was great and everything. Now he's he could be a 40, 50, 90 type guy. He was, I think, before he got hurt in the G League this past year. But anyway, what I loved about him, though, was his leadership, like his vocal leadership. He was everybody's biggest fan. He was hyping guys up the entire time. I'd never quite seen a high school player like him when it came to the talking and lifting guys up and making guys better than they probably were. But he also would get on somebody if they didn't rotate on defense or something. So it was all his leadership that stood out to me more than any other high school kid I've seen, which is why he's number 2 on my list. Forget that he's an NBA player. Dude is an absolute leader.
Yeah, very good pick. For me, my number 2 was Shemi Ojale. He was one that when I first started coaching was his senior year at Ottawa. And obviously, class 4A, he's not going up against maybe the greatest of athletes that could guard him at that level, but he dominated every game that he played and that I watched him. I got to see him twice, once at Baser Linwood against Ben Johnson, who played tight end at KU, and then again in the state tournament. And it was just, you could tell he was going to be
he was a man child.
Yeah, he was just, it looked like
physically he looked like a grown man.
Yeah, if you remember Adrian Peterson when he was like a freshman in college, where this guy is just ready to go, it looked like that for him. And he did well at SMU, made it to the NBA, but he was a phenomenal high school basketball player. So you're number 1.
Number 1. I think he was a 3-time All-American at Northwest Missouri State. Played a little bit in the NBA. And now he's playing overseas. It's Trevor Hudgens. Our state championship year, we lost twice to them, didn't win our league. He absolutely dominated games, and again, in a whole different way. Like, he controlled the game like no player I've ever been around. He knew when to speed the game up. He knew when to slow it down. He knew when it was his time to get shots. He knew how to get others involved. And here's when, like, I knew playing against him, but I got to coach an all-star game. And it was the KBCA All-Star game. And my team had some guys that didn't show up. And the other coaches, Trevor Hudgens went under the radar. Northwest Missouri State obviously got a steal. The dude was a 3-time All-American, went on NBA minutes playing overseas. Anyway, I knew about him. I had to play him twice a year.
Yeah, for 2 years.
Absolutely unbelievable. Well, the other coaches didn't know about him, under the radar. They said, you can take anybody you want besides Matt Powell, who was the other kid I talked about earlier. I said, no problem. Give me Trevor Hudgens. We won by 30. And it was because of Trevor. Trevor went out there and just dominated an all-star game. Never seen a kid just be able to control a game like he can, and just know when to play fast, when to slow down, who to get involved in the game. Such a smart player. Then he absolutely stands out as the best player I've coached against.
Steve can see my list, and he sees that that's my number 1 as well. He was.
We didn't have him.
No, I have it in order. It's fine. But he's my number 1 as well because it was how he controlled
I think that
the
says
pace,
everything you got to say.
But it also, I'm not,
because we didn't talk about this player.
No, but it was just so smooth. It was just, his game was so smooth. He was incredible to watch. He was easy to root for at Northwest Missouri as well. He really did a lot of great things. So what are some of your honorable
mentions? This was
mentions?
so hard. I mean, this really was hard for me. David Coben at DeSoto, I think he was underrated. Very similar to
years ago.
Trevor Hudgens. The Murphy twins at Baser, they beat us by 40 every time we played them. I already said Tyon. I saw that. Joe Siller, who was Joe Schneider when we played him, was on an undefeated 25-0 Lansing team.
Yeah. Shout out Rod Briggs. Bendall.
Patrick Muldoon at Baser, Zach Harvey, Chase Younger at Baser. We talk about Baser a lot. So Piper Baser is a rivalry. So I tell people all the time, I'm the only coach in Kansas history to score 99 points in a game and lose.
It's one of the greatest high school games of all time.
Double overtime. We're shooting a free throw. I'm not going to say his name. He misses it. Oh man,
Jerron McPherson.
Yes,
he's one of my honorable
mentions.
mentions.
McPherson, Division I football player, gets it. I didn't have anybody on the free throw line. I'll talk about that in a second. Grabs it, dribbles down the court, elbow jumper at the buzzer, wins 199. I lost a game, scoring 99 points in a high school game. I will never, ever not have somebody on the free throw line ever again in my career. I always have somebody there just to slow down the ball handler.
We've lost
if that ever happens again.
We've lost a game like that, and we've lost a game on a free throw box out. Yeah, man.
I've lost some free throw box outs. One of the most undertaught things. We won a huge game in the state tournament against Shawnee Heights off of an offensive rebound off of that. Now, I do think one of the biggest rule changes that should happen is the physicality they allow on free throws. Because if you're the offensive player, you can just shove a dude and never get anything called. That part of the game has to get cleaned up to me. Because basically, I tell the refs, I was like, that's like an offensive lineman in football turning around and playing with his back to the defensive line, and the defensive line just gets to go. So that's a rules change I would love to see. I also, talking about 100-point games, I got to say this just because I got to hit Hayden, and I hope we're going to send this to Carvel. Hayden drove me crazy. It's a private school, so there's always the public-private thing going. And
Miami, Notre Dame,
we beat a team with Zach Harvey, Hanukkah, Canfield. They had somebody else good too. Oh, Levi Braun. Levi Braun, the big D2 players. Yeah. So they had a great team. We beat them, 100 to 75? 100 to 82. 100 to 82.
Yeah.
And they tried to take out their guys at the very end so we wouldn't score 100. I was like, there ain't no way we're not scoring 100 on Hayden. So we had to put 100 up in regulation. 32 minutes. That's how good we were that year, like shooting wise and scoring. We scored 100 points in a 32-minute game.
Yeah.
So shout out to that team.
Trey was unbelievable.
And shout out Hayden.
Yeah.
Carvel, I hope we were going to send this one to you.
I'll let Steve do that. My only honorable mention that we haven't talked about, Jerron McPherson was one of them. I just remember him being so physically gifted at that age and just being able to hang real well. Muldoon was another one that was on there. Malik Keith, though, was one that always stuck out to me from Highland Park.
HP.
Yeah. And unfortunately, he passed not that long ago, but that kid was another one, just controlled the tempo of the game, knew how to handle it, played great defense, was a leader in his own way, and got that team to very, very far. That was an unbelievable thing to watch. But, he was one that always stuck out as one of those best ones. Oh, yeah, we're way over.
We're way over.
Again,
we do babble.
Yeah. Again, direct feedback where it needs to be to the specific individual. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.